Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back and it is episode 6 of The Road to Financial Freedom. And I have a huge problem. We have hit a barrier, we've hit a block in the road. Somebody is stopping us from achieving our dreams. And it's just one of those things that's just in business. And that thing is UK business bank accounts. So I told you in the last video that we've been trying to set up, well, we have set up a virtual address. So I want to put my address like it's in London to try and show that my business is more professional than what it would seem if I just put my home address on there. You know, it makes sense. It's one of those things. You might have done it as well, and I'm sure you're probably in a similar situation if you're watching this video. But we've had a problem. Now, because I want to be fully online and fully remote and not tied to bricks and mortar and not tied to a specific location, then I've been trying to use banks that do the same kind of thing, so it's all, you know, asymmetrical and it all works in the same way. First, I tried to do Revolut Business, and it has like a 5-point check system. So I've gone through this 5-point check system and ticked it all off, and yeah, you know, they're happy with the way I run my business, they're happy with my ID, they're happy with everything, and then they would not verify my address. They say it has to be a physical address, but it's a mail forwarding address. Now, I've used something called the London office, and the London office is essentially an office in London. I pay them X amount of money and then I can put their name on my invoices and it can be on Company's House to make me look more professional. What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? All they're going to do is forward the mail to me and I can use their address to make it look like I'm in London, and this is essentially something that benefits businesses. It's a good thing. It's great. It's legit. I've already paid for it. So the problem is that when I'm trying to register that, I've got the Company's House letter and everything that has been forwarded, so it's got the correct address on there. It's all been forwarded to me. But then now that letter apparently isn't good enough. So Company's House letter isn't good enough. Now, I don't know if I'm mistaken or something, but Company's House is probably the most legitimate organisation to do with business in the whole of the UK. So if they don't trust them, who the hell do they trust? I just think that they want to know, even though it's a limited company which should have limited liability, it should have nothing to do with my home address. So Revolut have sent me this list of things that I can do. So I can send them a gas and electric bill. I can send them a fibre internet bill. I can send them anything which is essentially tied to that physical address that's got that address on there, and obviously I can't get that. They've also said that I can send them a contract for goods or services and a contract with one of my customers. Now that probably seems to be the line that I'm going to go down, but because I kept hitting these roadblocks and because it was such a big issue for me to do this, I thought, you know what, let me try someone else. So I've tried Monzo's business banking because I've actually already got a current account with Monzo as well. So I tried them and I thought, right, let's see how it goes with them. Went through the whole process, went through the application process, did exactly the same thing, but they don't even have like a 5-point checklist. They just let you put all your things in and then they either say yes or no. First time they said no, and I thought, right, this might be due to international payments. So I went through the international payments, removed that, and I thought I'll use a third party like PayPal or Stripe to take international payments and cut out the third party. Then I revamped my application, did that again, and they said no again. And this is the funny thing, is how hard is it to set up an online business? And this is why most businesses fail in the first 5 years. They make it so difficult. But I do understand that starting the right business and following the fast lane plan, it isn't an event. You know, it's a process, and it's a series of processes and a series of roadblocks that are put there for a specific reason, because not everybody can get there, and there's a lot of people who would have already give up by now, and I'm not even 6 weeks in. Now the funny thing is, then Monzo sent me an email, and then they said what I would recommend is that you check out eligibility criteria. So I went onto the eligibility criteria, checked everything, and there's like a list of 25 different things that they have to accept or can't accept, and my business and everything that I'd done ticked every single box correctly. My business plan and everything, every single thing that I sent them, I didn't even have to verify my identity with them because I've already got a current account, and obviously limited liability or a limited company is not connected to my credit score or anything like that in any way, so they can't take that into account. So I ticked every box and I told them, and then they sent me another email, and then they said, even if you tick every one of our eligibility criteria, we still may not be able to offer you a bank account. We know that doesn't give you much information, but the answer's still no. So essentially, I've been refused by Revolut Business and been refused by Monzo. So I don't know if anybody else has had this problem and you've managed to solve it, then please drop a comment below and let me know how you got through that and how you got past it. So now I'm stuck in this conundrum, or this catch-22, or whatever you want to call it, whereas I'm trying to find another bank. I'm thinking of trying Starling Bank, and I'm also thinking of setting up a customer contract and getting my first customer. But the thing is, I want that to get paid into the business bank. So it's like, it's a problem in itself. myself. I can't register it to that address and put that on my customer contract without having the business bank account that has that address on there. Here's the funny thing as well. They've also said I can use a letter from a physical bank that's addressed to that address. Well, then I'd just set it up with them, wouldn't I? Like, so what they're trying to tell me to do is to go through Barclays, get it all set up or something with Barclays. Then when Barclays send me a letter to that address, I can then use that letter to set it up with Revolut. Like, it's just so backwards. I've sent them a full detailed business plan of everything I want to do, how I'm going to make money, how I'm going to fund it, what director's loans I'm going to do, and everything. I could not have been more specific about what I'm going to do. And the liability is just like, honestly, it's really doing me head in. So it seems like we've just got this problem, whereas UK business bank accounts that are online, I don't know whether it's like because they don't have a physical address, they can't work with businesses. It's probably some regulations or something that they just don't want to tell me. Or it's because they're online, they can't fund online. Or, you know, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to jump through some hoops to get where I want to be, basically. I think they're like going down the route as well. If the big boys like Barclays or the physical bricks and mortar banks will do it, then we'll do it. I don't know. I've got two options. I can either set up this customer contract, send it off to someone, get them to then send it to my postal address, hope they don't go crazy about it, because I'm pretty sure that the bank has to be registered first before I can do that, because then they're probably going to try and charge me because I've got to pay another 190 something pounds to be able to do that. And it's essentially just a minefield. And trust me, I'm going to update you and let you know how we get through this. So setting up that contract is the first option. The second option, because I don't want a physical bank, right? I want to be able to go anywhere in the world and travel, and I do not want this business. I do not want to have to go back into branch in England if I'm in Thailand, just to do something simple or something like that. So I think the other option is to go through Barclays Business or Lloyds TSB or NatWest or whatever it might be, set up the business bank account for the cheapest possible price, get them to send me a letter to the business address, receive the business, well, but then this just seems silly, because then I might as well just stick with them. It depends what they're going to offer me. I don't know. Another option is to go through Tide. I've been thinking about that, and that is something that I've seen. So Tide, Starling Bank or Bricks and Mortar Bank. I've just got to go through it and see what else. But if anyone else has had this problem, I'm sure you have, or if you're in the same problem, I'll do a part 2 and let you know what I do and how it goes. But it's a bloody nightmare. So just looking at the chat here on my phone, this is what they've said. So a utility bill, water, gas, electricity, landline phone, fibre internet issued in the last 3 months. So that's anything that's tied to that physical address, which obviously cannot happen. A valid office rental agreement. I've asked the London office, and apparently they can't provide me with that. What they can do is provide a provider letter, which I then asked Revolut Chat if they'd accept, and they said no. So obviously that's not going to happen. A governance correspondence, i.e. order from a court, traffic fine. Okay. This is where it gets funny, right? So they'll accept a traffic fine from our business, but they won't accept a letter from Companies House, the official government body. Absolute fools. Right, business rates bill, which we won't get because or will we get? No, because we haven't got a physical premises, so we won't need that. Documents from a stock exchange. Why they accept that, I don't know, but I'm going to sell shares, not buy them, essentially. So that's going to be further down the line, so I won't be able to get that. A regulatory body or licensing board body with the operating address as the place of delivery. So they'll accept a regulatory... God, I cannot speak. So they'll so they'll accept a regulatory body. This is just absolutely ridiculous that they've set it up this way. They'll accept a regulatory body with the operating address as place of delivery. Is that not the Companies House letter that I've sent them? Is that not a regulatory body? Or am I just being dumb here? Right, okay. I am new to this, by the way, so, you know, I have run businesses in the past, but just as a sole trader, and it wasn't a completely free, location-free online business like what I'm trying to set up now. It was obvious I was going to hit roadblocks, so that's the reason I'm documenting it, because if people are going to follow what I do, then we're going to have it all on here so people can watch it back. But, okay, or a contract with the customer with these elements, a description of the products and services delivered under your legal trading name with your operating address as place of delivery, as dated in the last 3 months. Everything's got to be dated in the last 3 months. So basically, I'm just going to have to get something like this, or like I said before, set up a bricks and mortar bank, get them to send me a letter, then use that letter as proof to be able to set up the online bank. Jesus. If you've been through this and you've got a solution, then please, please, please let me know what it is, because I've been doing this for weeks now and it's just back and forth on chat, try another bank, try something else, try do this, do that. But you know, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I don't even want to get a loan from them. That's the funny thing. Like, I'd understand if they were trying to give me a loan and then they're thinking, right, we've got nowhere to get back to this person if he doesn't pay, and we've got no address and we can't go and take his goods or something, even though it's a limited liability company. Sometimes I've read that sometimes they can come and get your fee stuff. I'm not even asking them for money. They don't even do loans. So it's even more ridiculous. I mean, stay tuned for what happens. I'm going to see if I can get that. I'm going to go to Starling Bank. I'm going to go to Tide. I'm going to go to a bricks and mortar bank and have a conversation with them in person, because I suppose that does help me get the answers that I want to get. And I'll let you know how it goes, and just keep following the journey, and let's get rich, baby. Fozzie's vlogging, baby.